Greetings, fellow space pirates. This is Grim coming at you live from my PC this time. What we're going to do in this video is the very first Let's Play for Cartel Incorporated. The game is Empyrean Galactic Survival, and Reforged Eden is the scenario. What I wanted to do with this is use it both as a sort of learning experience for anyone that's just getting into the game, and also as a bit of a showcase for the Cartel Incorporated stuff that you can get from Nexus Mods. When I picked up the game, I bought it from the Epic Game Store, and as such, they don't have a Steam Workshop or anything like it. You gotta go to Nexus to get your add-ons. So, I'm going to populate the Nexus site with as many Cartel ships as I can, and sort of flesh it out a little bit so the rest of us have something to play with. And without further ado, let's start a new one, shall we? So, when you're playing Reforged Eden, you need to start with Scenario. And select it from the left-hand side here. There we go, Reforged Eden 2 Beta. And I'm going to throw a couple little extra things into the difficulty settings here just because I have a particular play style. I'm not good. I'm okay. And I need to make the game a little bit better for me that way. So, let's go with... set it for the Cartel Incorporated Let's Play. Game mode is Survival, Seed. Let's go random. That one looks good to me. And difficulty settings. Now this is important to pay attention to when you're playing here. For starting equipment, we're going to go with medium. That should be fine. Keep inventory on death. When you die, you leave behind a backpack. You can go and snatch it from where you died. I'm not into that. I'm going for keeping everything. Life stats. Food consumption normal. Oxygen consumption normal. Temperature, radiation impact, all normal. That's all fine. One other thing I wanted to change here is degradation speed. Let's go with slow. That means that all your weapons are going to last a little bit longer. It's a bit of a pain in the ass when you're in the middle of a firefight and everything just breaks and you're left with your fists. Not fun at all. Amount of ore per deposit, normal. Number of deposits, normal. Auto miner depletion. So there's a device in the game called an auto miner that you can set to just mine continuously. If you set this to true, it means that the resource underneath it will run out over time, meaning that you'll have to pick the miner up and stick it somewhere else. Not a fan of that, so we're going to leave that false. Enemy difficulty, we'll leave that on medium. Overall drone presence, normal. And drone base attacks are normal. So when you set up your first base, the overlords of the galaxy here, the Zirax, will send stuff to kick your ass. It's not all that bad. The drones are pretty easy to take out once you know what you're doing. So we're just going to leave that at normal for now. Constructor craft speed. So the devices that construct blocks and other devices for you to build things out of, we're going to leave that at normal. Blueprint and repair speed is instant. I'm a big fan of that. You can build things from blueprints in the game. If you change this, it means that it's going to take a certain amount of time for whatever it is in the blueprint to build. Not a big fan, again, sitting around and waiting after you've already gone out and mined all the resources and finished building everything you need to put it together. You have to wait an arbitrary amount of time? No. No spawn limit for the blueprints. Block limit for certain devices. So if you're building your own stuff, this will limit the amount of blocks that you can put on certain things. I'm going to leave it at true because it does add a certain amount of realism. Same with check mass and volume and CPU points. They're a bit complicated to get into right away, but you know, you can find out all about them on the Reforged Eden page over at the Steam Workshop. Also, the unlock check for blueprints in the factory. This means that you have to unlock all the devices that your particular blueprint is going to need before you can construct it. So we're going to leave that at yes. So that's my difficulty settings. And the start location, we're going to take a look at these and see if there's anything sort of similar to the basic Akua that comes in Empyrean Galactic's base game. Let's see. Hey, look, it's Akua. Alright. So since it's our first playthrough and it's a bit of a learning experience, we're going to start with the basics. This is your starting planet in base Empyrean Galactic Survival. So we'll do the same here and see how it works out for us. Away we go. Alright. Looks like we're in for a bit of bother. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ouch. And we awaken. Prologue. Journey into the unknown. You crawl from the wreckage of your escape pod to find yourself injured and alone on an unknown world. With no memory of how you got here and little at your disposal, the crackling of your suit's radio puts you on the path towards answers somewhere out in the wilderness of this alien planet. And we're already getting visited by the wildlife. Something to say about the wildlife in this game. These guys, and several others, are perfectly harmless. They're herbivores, they'll leave you alone. But if you're getting hungry, they make for good eating. Now, what happened? To the station, to the crew, I've got to contact the fleet. Here's where I diverge from this. Generally, when I jump into one of these games, I play on the other side of the law. This particular playthrough was wanting me to play as a good guy. I'm a little bit more of a Captain Jack Sparrow. So, that's what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is check my inventory, see what I've got. I have a survival multi-tool. It's a weapon. It's a drill. It's all the things. All of them horrible. It's basic protection. It'll keep you safe if you need it. Not much more than that. So, what else? Probably going to need that light because a basic suit doesn't come with a light. That's on the helmet. These are basically just help files. They can safely be trashed. You can read them if you like. I've already gone over them. Not a big deal. And we're going to immediately start gathering resources. First thing we're going to need to find, well, is food, so we're going to pick up some of these guys, make sure that we're taken care of. And then we're going to go off into the wilderness looking for iron. Lots of the different plants and rocks around here contain different elements in them, so you want to keep your eye out for the ones that stand out a little bit from the rest. These blue plants in particular contain plant protein. You can use them to make food. Plant fibers are good for ammunition, a bunch of other stuff. What we're looking for in particular right now, though, is iron. We're going to go into resource mode. That's graphite. This is what we're after. Alright, 11 iron ore. So if I go back into my suit, we need a portable constructor. And it needs 5 iron ore. We have 11. What am I missing? Why won't it on? Aha! Go into your tech tree. Because I'm a dummy. Go to tools. Miscellaneous, I believe. Where are we here? Portable constructor. Unlock. And we go back. I haven't gotten enough experience to unlock it yet. I've been playing this for so long, I kind of forget, so... The best way to get experience right off the beginning is by mining resources. Unlock level 2. Okay, so let's go to the tech tree. Let's go to the miscellaneous portable constructor. Unlock. Thank you very much. Back to me. Let's make one of those. And keep looking for bits and pieces. Get as much as you can in the beginning. This is how you get your basic experience. And once you've gotten experience, you can unlock more stuff in the constructor, and that's going to allow you to start building the basics for your first ship. Before that, though, we're probably going to end up building a hover bike. And for that, we're going to need just a few of the resources that are available to us right around where we get dropped off. Let's see, there's my escape pod. Now, in the beginning, you want to try and stay relatively close to your escape pod, as the creators of the scenario have made it so that you can stay alive. You won't run into anything particularly toothy or angry right around the drop zone, which is nice. I do appreciate it. There we go, 50 XP a pop. Now, on this particular starter world, Akua, the resources are plentiful. If you decide to start in a different starter world, they run the range from slightly more difficult to insanely hard. So always make sure that you pay attention to the description of the starting planet. It'll help you avoid any unnecessary anxiety. God knows we've all had too much of that these days. The messages on the screen there are for the main story, which I said I'm not following on this playthrough. Like that one. The antenna, that's it over there. You can go find it if you want to do that on the playthrough on your own, and there's plenty of other Let's Plays for that. For now, I'm just gonna keep on mining, keep on grabbing all the stuff. Let's see. That personal constructor is ready. Let's go pop that down and see if we can't make some ingots out of it. And start adding to our queue. In the factory. So, this is the basic constructor menu. We're going to do up some iron, we're going to do up some copper, we're going to do up some silicon, and some carbon substrate. See how much of that we can get going. We'll come back to it in a bit, see when it's done. There's some iron over here. The factory is a really neat little bit of kit. It's basically an endless element storage for when you want to create one of the items that you put together in creative mode or downloaded from Steam Workshop or from Nexus Mods. As I mentioned before, Nexus Mods I'm a little bit beholden to. As I don't have the Steam version of the game, so that's what I'm going to be using. And in this playthrough, the only items that you're going to see are items that I've personally created, so won't need to worry about anything else. As I mentioned before, do not expect to find this many goodies anywhere else in the game so closely packed. The starting locations have been well taken care of by the Reforged Eden crew, so it's a little bit misleading if you think this is what you're going to run into later on. Alright, let's go back and see where we're at. Now, here's another thing. These are perishable. You can see the perish time there. Same with the natural sweetener, herbal leaves. These are food items or medicine items, and generally, if you have them on your person or if you have them in any other storage container other than a refrigerator, they will go bad and you will not be able to use them. Except the portable constructor. Anything you put in the portable constructor will stay there and be just fine until you need to make something from it. So don't worry too much about that. Let's see what we have here. Doing pretty good in the output. And again, a little bit of an issue here with the output size. You don't have that many options once you've made something. This one up here is just about bottomless. This one down here, you've only got the 8 slots, so be careful what it is that you've got queued up and ready to go. Now, to check in on what we're going to make first. Personally, I'm a fan of getting a small vessel, in other words, a small spaceship, up and running fast. The instant that you build a base on a planet, the Xerax will send a detachment after you, and you're going to have to fight, and I'm not really into that right away. I have a couple of different options here. Let's see, the Falconet was the cheapest one. So 500 carbon, 200 iron, or 300 iron, 200 copper, 150 silicon. It doesn't have a whole lot of cargo space. It is just for getting around, and that's kind of not what I'm really looking for this time around. So I'm thinking more of this. The Roughneck is a miner. It's meant for drilling resources out, but it's also armed. It's got good carrying capacity. It's got lights on it. It's got onboard oxygen. All kinds of good stuff. So this is what we're going to go for, I believe. Now, in order to get it going, I have to play the game until I've unlocked all of these 17 devices. So I'm going to do that just through going around and collecting resources. And once I've gotten all of that taken care of and everything unlocked, then I'll be able to start adding bits and pieces to the factory. Alright, just going to see how much I can unlock here and see how close we can get to making this thing work. So I need to be at level 10 before I can get this ship off the ground. So before I get there, basically I've got no business unlocking anything in here. So, back to it. So what I've decided to do here is see if I can get a little extra experience. I've forgotten that sometimes these early missions will give you a little bit of a boost so you can get to your ship a little quicker, so we'll pretend to be a good guy for now. Unsupported external device detected. Updating drivers. Ooh, it's Windows 95. Fun. Extensions. Complete. Communications uplink online. Uplink status. Connection established. Ooh, handshake protocol accepted. Signal received. Wait a minute, what's going on? An excellent question, Commander, and one I would be more than happy to supply the answer to, if I knew it. Unfortunately, I have been offline since initialization. Okay, so who are you? IDA, Integrated Data Algorithm. I am IDA. That's Integrated Data Algorithm, but you may call me IDA. A backup of the original UCH IDA to be precise. Where I am is integrated into a UCH surveillance satellite in orbit above your location. So, you're an AI? That is correct, Commander. My system was rebooted when it detected your escape pod's distress beacon as it entered the upper atmosphere of this planet. I have been attempting to connect to your suit's data link since you regained consciousness, but it appears my transmitter was not able to transmit on the frequency required to access your data link until you linked with an external transceiver. Now that I am connected with your suit's computer system, I can calibrate your suit's data link so that I can interface directly with your suit and provide you with scanning and telemetry data, as is my role. So, you're some kind of support AI. My original role is to utilize systems at my disposal to scan, analyze, categorize, and direct personnel operations. I can do a great deal more than that, but nothing that is relevant to the current situation. As you are the only UCH personnel I have detected on the planet, I can devote much of my processing power to assist you by coordinating your search efforts and supplying mapping data and identifying enemy crafts. Well, I look forward to working with you at some point. See ya! If you would like to know more about the origins of the UCH, the fleet, and the mission, I have uploaded the relevant information to your PDA. You can find in-depth records in the Journey Book tab of the PDA, and practical information on the Imperiapedia tab. I understand. Your suit's data link has now been calibrated, Commander. From now on, I shall interface with your suit directly and use your sensors to communicate and assist you. I have detected structures and objects which may answer both our questions nearby. Disconnect from the antenna. Alright. Not sure if that gave us any more experience or not, but I'm going to have to check it in a second here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Keep talking to the machine. Comedy routine. If you go through the story, you're going to have to put up with a lot of this. I'm going to leave it up to you to read it if you like. For now, I'm going to take a look at my stuff. Still level 5. Alright. Well, for me, that's back to it for a little bit until I can get up to level 10. And I'll check in with you then. Okay, so it would appear that the game settings that I started with are not going to allow me to get to level 10 as quickly as I'd hoped for this particular Let's Play. So we're going to do the basic beginner Cartel Incorporated ship instead of the miner. I specifically designed this one to be easy to get. Doesn't take much, as you can see here. Carbon substrate, 530, iron, 300, copper, 200, silicon, 150, like I said at the beginning. This is probably our best little bit. It's a little hot rod, it's got some basic cargo space, but it'll be a good point to get us a little bit further into the game, get us able to move around the planet, and find some bigger resource deposits and things that we can salvage. So, we're going to add that to the factory. And then, we're going to go into our constructor here and see how much of this stuff we can pick up at a time. So, back in. Iron, we're almost there. And copper, silicon, almost there with both of those too. Let's see. Okay, definitely there with the copper. I'll bet you 500 carbon isn't going to be a problem. Oh yeah, we're definitely there. Alright. All that we're going to need now is a little bit more iron and a little bit more silicon. I think the silicon we've actually got here. We just need to let it finish constructing. Yeah, there it is. Iron's going to be the tough one, and there's a little bit of a better way to get that stuff I found around the corner while I was out scouting for XP. Alright, back to it. Let's fire the silicon in. There we go, that's taken care of, and now we just need to go and find some iron. Now, one of the things that I found around here, using my little detector, there's the broken antenna, there's some wreckage. So wreckage is bits and chunks of steel space frame that's dotted around the planet. That's basically just yours to go and collect. So I'm going to do that with my trusty survival multi-tool here and see if we can't get the rest of what we need for our first little hot rod. Alright. See what you've got to offer us, eh? Use ores. Nope. Salvage. There we go. That's carbon. That's not what we want. There we go. Steel plates. More steel plates. Little bits fall off, you want to run over and pick them up because they'll disappear after a bit if you don't. There we go. Hopefully that's enough. Now we can go directly to our little factory screen here, and if we take the steel plates and just pop them in. Oh, that's close. Not quite there, but close. So, let's keep cranking on this guy. Okay, that's just carbon down there. We don't need carbon. Let the flashlight see what we're dealing with. Okay. There we go. Let's see how close that got us. 1? Really? Alright. And there we go. So we start production, and as you can see here with the settings that we had and the difficulty, total production time 1 second. We're going to go and start this back closer to base though, because I do need to produce fuel for this little guy. So alright, back at base. First things first, let's put everything we grabbed back into the constructor so it's got a place to stay. We can take the silicon and pop it in there. We can take the carbon and pop it in there. It'll be just fine. This stuff, biodiesel. Takes 20 plant fibers. We have many. And you can basically chuck that into your ship and it will run. So, we're going to let that cook. And while we're letting it cook, you're going to pull out our Cartel Incorporated Falconet. Alright, let's put her down right next to our little base. And there we go. One small vehicle, space-worthy, enough to get you around, enough to protect you just a little bit. It's got the tiniest guns in the game you can get, but it is a full and complete ship. And that's probably where we're going to end this week's episode. Next time, we're going to get into that ship, we're going to fly around, and we're going to find all the parts that we need to really start running the Empire. But for now, thanks for joining me and hope to see you next week. See you later.